Hey, y'all, it's Crystal. Thanks so much for stopping in. It's that time of the year. Time for my October reading plans. I'm so excited. October, my favorite month, of course. And here on BookTube, there's approximately 89 events and readathons and challenges going on. And I'm going to participate in all of them. Yeah, not quite all of them, but a fair few, because they just sound so much fun. And I want to show my support. These reading events and readathons and challenges, all that stuff, they take time and planning, and these people have worked really hard on putting this together. So even if I just read one book, I'd like to show some support. And honestly, I don't need an excuse to do a reading event or anything. And I love making lists. I love planning. This is fun for me. So will I read all of these books? Probably not. Did I have fun trying to think I might read all these books? Yeah, I sure did. So let's jump right into it, because I'm going to be talking a lot. So first of all, I'm going to talk about some of the non-readathon books, my book clubs and stuff like that. So the Stephen King read-along pick for this month that we chat about the books over on Brad Proctor's Discord channel. Our October book is Revival, and Revival is one of my favorite King books. And I'm definitely hoping I can do a reread of it, probably on audiobook or something, because, I love that book. And it's a good one for spooky season. It's not too over the top, scary, but it's a really wonderful story. So, we're going to be doing that one. The From Hell book club, which is hosted by Kelly from Kelly Hooked on Books. She actually asked me to pick a book for this month, and I chose Devil's End by D.A. Fowler. It takes place during October, during Halloween time. It just sounds perfect. I gotta forget the synopsis now of what it was about, though. There's a cult tinge to it, so I'm excited. And the Shades of Orange Patreon book club. I forgot to grab this book. I do have the book somewhere. Experimental Film by Gemma Files is our pick for October, and this one I've had on my list for a little while, so hopefully I'll have time to get to it. The Midnight Book Society, Kelsey over at Slime and Slashers, has her really fun book club, and she has picked out Usher's Passing by Robert McCammon for us to read in October. Again, hopefully I will have time to get to it. And I think I forgot to grab this one too. It's downstairs. The V.C. Andrews read-along that Kelly from Kelly Hooked on Books is hosting. We are going to be continuing with the Castile series with Gates of Paradise. So some of these will be fit into the readathons, but some of them won't. So just wanted to go ahead and mention those first. So my primary focus, readathon for the month will be Blackoweenathon. It was one I was planning to do already before all these others started trickling in and tempting me. So Blackoweenathon is going to be my main focus for the month. This is, of course, created by the Locked Booktician. If you're not watching Locked Booktician, I don't know what you're doing with your life, because Bree is amazing. And this is, I think, the third year for Blackoweenathon. And there's a handful of other co-hosts also. So of course I'll link the announcement video below, so you can check it out and then find all the other hosts. And I'm so excited. So Blackoweenathon is basically to read, crime, horror, thrillers, dark fiction, the dark and spooky books. They just need to be by Black authors. And I did Blackoweenathon, I think, the first year. I think last year I don't think I participated too much in it, but I wanted to really focus on it this October. So here they do have some prompts set up for us. So here's what I'm kind of thinking about so far. Okay, so a backlisted book, and they specifically said a 10 plus years, or kind of an older kind of backlist book. And I'm going to finally dig into book 2 of the African Immortal series by Tanana Reeve Dew and read The Living Blood. I read book 1, I don't even know, a year or two ago, and I'm so terrible at series that I just haven't, I am who I am. You know this about me at this point. So I want to not finish, but continue on with the series with book 2. This is a different sort of take on a vampire type of story. I really enjoyed book 1, I just need to move on with the series. So, great. Okay, number 2 is to read a book with queer representation, and I have this one on my Kindle. It is We Are Here We Are Here to Hurt Each Other. This is a short story collection by Paula D. Ashe. It came out earlier this year. I'm pretty sure that the stories will have some queer representation, and I've just been dying to read it. I read a story by Paula Ashe, was that earlier this year, or maybe it was last year, that was so good, and I've been wanting to check out more of Paula's work, so why not now? And you know, I like to throw in some short story collections each month, so this will be one of the short story collections that I kind of make my way through for the month. Very excited. Okay, number 3 is a book set in the South. I think I'm going to try to finally get to Black Tie Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. I know it's set in the South. It's another kind of crime fiction story. I loved Razorblade Tears, and I've had Black Tie Wasteland on my Kindle for forever now. So it's just, you know, finally getting to some of these books that I've had forever, because I don't know why I am the way I am, you know what I mean? Okay, so number 4 is to read an underrated author. Very excited for this one. I've got 2 picked out for this one, so we'll see what I get to. I want to read Nana by Brandon Massey. I have not read anything by Brandon Massey yet, and I don't know why. I'm a crazy person. So I want to read Nana. It sounds really good. Yeah, I'm excited. I won't talk too much about synopsis because I've got a million books to talk about, but it sounds great. But then I also have on my Kindle, it's another collection, so I could definitely kind of make my way through it for the entire month. It's How to Recognize a Demon Has Become Your Friend by Linda Addison. She's a wonderful poet, but this is a short story collection. I think also probably has some poetry in it also. I've just been wanting to check out more of her work, and so yeah, so excited to read that. Okay, and what to do for 5 is to read a recent release, and I'm going to go with Viral Lives by Felix I.D. Demaro. You can get this one on Kindle Unlimited. This is a kind of technological kind of horror story. I know it's like a guy who he's like, you know, walking his way home or whatever. He sees this man, I think basically getting murdered, you know, on the street or whatever. And instead of helping him, he like records it on his phone. And I think like the guy's soul like starts haunting the dude's phone or something. I don't know. It sounds pretty great, and it's kind of shortish, so perfect for, you know, try to squeeze all these books in for the month. But it sounds really fun. So yay. Okay, so the last prompt for Blackoweenathon is to read a book from the 20th century. And I think I'm going to finally dive into Brown Girl in the Rain by Nella Hopkinson. I don't know if this is necessarily like a super dark. I think it might have some sci-fi elements, but I think there's like a mystery, like a murder mystery in the story, if I'm remembering the synopsis right. I've had this on my Kindle forever. I need to read it. So the time is now. You know what I'm saying? And plus it came out in 1998, so fits the prompt. So those are all the prompts for Blackoweenathon. I'm going to try to trickle in, of course, Black authors into my other prompts, and some of these will definitely be duplicated and triplicated and quadruplicated for the other events that are going on. But yeah, so let's get into what else is going on. So a really fun event that I saw over on Storm Reed's channel, and she had created Hallotween, and to read spooky middle grade picture books. I mean, whatever, just children's literature essentially for the month. And I thought, gosh, how fun is that? She has a fun bingo board and all that. So she's got 9 prompts. I do have 9 books. Again, I may not get to all of them, but if I just make one bingo or something like that, that'll be fun. But she has some really fun prompts picked out. So let's run through these real quick. Let me grab all of my books here. I've got stuff everywhere. Okay, so and the prompts are really fun. One is I Ain't Afraid of No Ghosts. You know, of course, Ghostbusters. So a book with a ghost, and I think it's high time I have read Wait Till Helen Comes by Mary Down Hahn. I've got so many of her books. I've still not read a single one yet, and this one just seems perfect. Look at this cover. First of all, right? It definitely is going to have a ghost in it, so I think it sounds pretty great. And of course, it's short, so I should at least be able to get to a few of these because I picked ones that are kind of on the shorter side. Okay, so number 2 is the book with red on the cover. And I actually went with this one, Hawkins Horrors, a collection of terrifying tales by Matthew J. Gilbert. This is a Stranger Things book, and I'm pretty sure it's middle grade, like the way it's set up. And this is a pretty new book. It just came out pretty recently. Got like 10-ish stories in it, and they just sound really fun to go back to Hawkins and read some Stranger Things stuff. And it's called Hawkins Horrors, so I feel like October is the perfect time for that. So hope y'all get into that. Okay, number 3 is of course Monster Mash, but she says Monster Mash or Halloween, so a book that has a monster in it or something that is set at Halloween. So I went with the monster vibe, and I'm going to be reading hopefully Night Wings by Joseph Bruchac. So I've read the Skeleton Man sort of duology stories by Joseph Bruchac. I love this. He's an Indigenous author. Abenaki heritage, and I really liked the Skeleton Man a lot. It was actually pretty kind of dark for a kid's story, and so I'm kind of hoping for the same with this one. This also it kind of deals with like dreams and things too, and so he has nightmares nightmare visions of a fearsome winged creature, and that they're becoming all too real. So he says he's depended on the wisdom of his Abenaki ancestors' stories to guide his footsteps. No monster tale could have prepared him for what he's about to encounter alone at the top of the most dangerous mountains in the world. It sounds amazing, and like I said, I've been wanting to read more by that author, so I'm excited. Okay, so next is What's Coming Out of the Sky, a book with aliens. And why not? My teacher is an alien. Yeah, this was a recent pickup at the thrift store for me. This is by Bruce Coville, and he's read a lot. He's written a lot of kids books. I don't think I read anything by Bruce Coville, not that I can remember anyway. But this cover, first of all, is amazing. Is amazing. 6th grade is just out of this world. So there's a substitute teacher that's coming to town, so she realizes that he really is an alien. Sounds tons of fun, and definitely October. Perfect time. Okay, so then we have a book with black on the cover, and I'm gonna go with The Time Watchers by Robbie Miles because, okay? All right. Next one is Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? I mean, the quintessential spooky kids stuff is Scooby-Doo. I loved Scooby-Doo. I was actually just watching a little bit of Scooby-Doo this morning, so whatever. So a book that features a friend group, of course, and I think Monster Street sounds good for this one. This is The Halloweeners. I think this is book 1 of the series. This is J.H. Reynolds, and it takes place at Halloween. We got trick-or-treaters. I mean, there's a friend group. Perfect. Perfect timing for that one. Okay, so next is going to be orange on the cover. There's a little bit of orange. Okay, this is The Harry Horror Trick, and this is by Scott Corbett. Now, this is one I wanted to read this month again because it's set at Halloween time. So I already was wanting to read this one, and it looks like I'm at Halloween. A party or something. There's a trick. It goes horribly wrong, of course. So it just sounds like a lot of fun. Okay. I feel like I'm missing one. Friend group. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so then next one is to read a book with a haunted house or a haunted object. Seems like the perfect time to finally read The Haunted Mask. This is a Goosebumps book. Of course, R.L. Stein. I've not read Haunted Mask, but yeah, seems like the perfect time. It's set at Halloween. You see where I'm going with this? So yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. It's not, a lot of times, middle grade can get a little spooky, So I'm looking forward to that. I do feel like I'm missing one though. Here's an alien, Halloweeners, Harry Horror Trick. Okay, I don't know, whatever. Okay, next. So that's the Hallotween Readathon. Again, where we're reading. Books are falling all over the place. Okay, the next one that sounds like a lot of fun is the Halloweekend Readathon, and I like the idea of this one because it's just taking place over the weekends, and the starting weekend is actually 9/29, so the tail end of September. So there's like 5 weekends where, you know, you kind of focus on the readathon. So you have the week to just, you know, whatever. So I think it sounds really fun. And there's a bunch of hosts, and I started over on Katrina Brown's channel, but I'll link Katrina, and I'll link all the other hosts below, but so you can check it out, of course, their announcement videos, and see if you'd like to join in. But yeah, so they've got prompts. They got 5 main reading prompts, you know, so basically 1 book for each weekend, and the weekends are like 4-day weekends, so like Thursday through Sunday, right? 29, yeah, so like 4-day weekend kind of things. And then they've got like 5 bonus prompts, so if you want to kind of, you know, achieve higher, there's like activity prompts, you know, like have a you know, spooky treat kind of thing. And there's like photo prompts for Instagram. It's very well put together. They worked really hard on it, you can tell. So yeah, I'm super excited. So let's get right into the prompts. Like I said, there are 10 book prompts, but yeah, the 5 main ones is what I'm saying, the main prompts. Making sense? Okay, so number 1 is to read a host fave. So there are 5 hosts total, and they've each picked 5 favorites. So you've got 25 books that you could choose from as a favorite, you know. So I think you should definitely be able to find something. But I went with My Heart Is a Chainsaw, and I think Katrina, this was one of her books, because I've had this since it came out, and I haven't read it yet, and I need to. And October seems the perfect time for it. Okay, next is to read a book that has a Halloween related word in it, and however you know want to interpret that. I was already going to be reading Trick or Treat by Richie Tankersley Cusick. I mean, Trick or Treat is Halloween, so this is a point horror book. Trick or treat, candy is dandy, but murder is sweet. Sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. I can't wait. Okay, number 3 is to read a horror or thriller with your favorite subgenre. And I'm throwing in The Devil's End by D.A. Fowler in here, because I do like stories that have like occult, you know, kind of qualities. And so I'm going with that one. Okay, and the book, next one is a book set at Halloween, and I've been saving this for Halloween. I was already planning on reading this month. This is Benny Rose, The Cannibal King by Haley Piper. The last of the Haley Piper, you know, backlist of books I need to read to be caught up with her, and I can't wait. It is set around Halloween time. I think it has to do with kind of a urban legend kind of thing. I've been dying to read it, but I've been saving it because October. So yeah. Okay, the next is to read a horror or thriller, and this readathon is focusing on horror or thriller books, I will say. It's a horror or thriller that is a genre blend, and I'm gonna finally hopefully read Sorrowland by River Solomon, and this is, you know, also pulling in some more Blackoweenathon. But I've been dying to read this. I don't know I haven't read it yet, but I know it's a genre blend. It has a sort of a gothic feel. Also, there's the covers of flipping amazing. First of all. I don't even remember what it's about, but I just know I've been wanting to read it, so enough said. Okay, so onto the bonus prompts that they have for us is, again, some of these will be some repeats. So is to read a novella. I'm going to plug in the Viral Lives book here by Felix Adi Tomorrow. It's a short novella. A book by an author that you love. I'm plugging in The Living Blood by Tanana Reeve-Dew because I love Tanana Reeve-Dew. A book with Halloween colors on the cover. I am going with the Time Watchers because black, orange, green, Halloween covers. A book by a new to you author. I've also was kind of saving this for October, is to read Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Arshaw. This is a story about Sally. Sally is my favorite character from Nightmare Before Christmas. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, period. But Sally's my favorite. So I was kind of saving this for October also. And I've not read anything by Shay Arshaw, so yeah, that fits. And is that it? No. To read a book with a cover that you love. I've also been saving this one for October. So Autumn Gothic by Brian Boyer. Yep. And it's called Autumn Gothic. So, enough said. So that's Halloweekend. Let's move on to the next one. So a really fun one that popped up was the Camp Crystal Lake Readathon. What? Yeah. So this is another kind of team-based readathon, and where basically you pick your camp that you want to go to. There's Camp Crystal Lake, there, and they're based on slashers. So there's Camp. Well, I'm going with Camp Dracula because that's, so the hosts have picked kind of their favorite. But there's Crystal Lake, there's Camp Dracula, there's Camp Haddonfield, there's one that's like Buffy themed. I can't remember them all now because I didn't write them all down because the camp that I was in was Camp Dracula, Camp Castle Dracula. Yeah, so, okay, so let's get into what these are. There are, and this is it's a challengey type prop, so you get points for books that you read and all that kind of stuff, and so it sounds fun. So a book that features a vampire. I want to read Code Red by R. St. Clair so bad. I've heard such good things about it. I've got it on my Kindle. It's queued up. I want to read it. Sounds like a fun vampire story. I'm excited. Okay, so then a book with red on the cover. I went with the Hawkins Horrors book because it's got lots of red on the cover. So that'll work. A book that includes a journey. I really want to read this book. The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias. I've been dying to read it. I know this guy kind of goes on a road trip, maybe to Mexico. I can't remember now, but it sounds perfect for that. I don't have time to read all these books. I don't know. Book that is set in a country that's other than yours. And I thought, books are getting buried over here. Be a perfect time to dig into some more Junji Ito. I've got Fragments of Horror here. This one I think is a short story collection, and of course it's a manga, so it's set in Japan. And it's been a while since I read some Junji Ito, so dying to read it. And yeah, perfect for that. Okay, a book with a strong female character, and I'm going to be plugging in My Heart's a Chainsaw for that one. I think the character in here, Jade, seems like a pretty strong character. I don't know, because I haven't read it yet, but that's what I'm choosing for it anyway. And then there is a group book for Team Castle Dracula to read, Crave by Tracy Wolf. I think this is a vampire story. I'm not sure. I don't know much about it, I'm going to be honest, but I'll probably just try to find it on audio or something like that, because I do get 50 points if you read the group book. So there's also a group movie watch to watch Van Helsing. So I definitely will try to tune in when my group camp counselor tries to post the group watch to watch Van Helsing. I haven't watched Van Helsing in forever. I remember being kind of cheesy, but it's a fun one. It's a fun movie. So. And goes right with, of course, Camp Castle Dracula team. So that's Camp Crystal Lake. Again, I will put all the hosts of that one below as well with further announcements, so you can check it out. There's a Discord, and they've got it all set up really well. It's been a lot of fun so far over there, and I think it's going to be a really fun reading challenge. So yes. Okay, so the last one that is for the full month of October, like all of these have been for the full month, is the A to Z Horror Challenge. This is, of course, hosted by John over at Books of Blood. He came up with a really fun challenge kind of based on some of the alphabet. There's a lot here. Will I get to all these? I'm definitely not going to read all these. Okay. But that's fine. I'm double dipping on a couple of these, I'll say. But anyway, so A is for Apocalypse, and I'm going with Planet Dead by Sylvester Barzy. This is also pulling in some Blackoweenathon, and this is a zombie story, and it just sounds like a lot of fun. I love zombie books. They get a bad reputation, but I like a good zombie book. B is for body horror, and I am going to go for Code Red by R. St. Clair. I feel like it's a vampire book. I feel like it might have some body horror in it. I will see. C is for Creepy Kid, and I'm gonna think that this one has some Creepy Kid. Wait Till Helen Comes by Mary Downing Hahn. It's got a ghost kid, so I'm thinking that'll fit for that one. E is for extreme. You have to read an extreme horror book. And I, of course, will be plugging in Autumn Gothic by Brian Boyer. He's definitely has some pretty extreme content usually. Usually violence related. I love it. I love it so much. So plugging that in for that. Okay, folk horror. F is for folk horror, let me say. I'd love to get Slewfoot this month too. I don't know, y'all. I know this is a folk horror and this is by Brom, of course. Haven't read it yet. We'll see. Probably won't get to it this time either. Okay, G is for Gothic. And like I said, I think that Sorrowland has some Gothic vibes to it. So I'm going to plug that in for that. Okay, H is for haunting. And so I'm going to plug in this one. Or I had picked this one out, which is a totally different book. The Ghost That Came Alive by Vic Broom. And it just, it sounds like a good haunted house type of kids book. L is for Lovecraftian, and I thought I'd try to read another Lovecraft story for that. I might read The Haunter of the Dark. It's a shorter one. I've got this little collection of Lovecraft here. He's kind of been hit or miss for me, so we'll see. We'll see. Okay, M is for monster. I thought I could read Monster Street, but I also had this book called Jack Halloween. It's a monster erotica kind of short story that I thought might be really fun. That's by Layla Faye, by the way. So O is for occult. I'm going to be plugging in Devil's End again here by D.A. Fowler. I'm pretty sure it has occult, vibes. P is for psychological. I'm plugging in Nana by Brandon Massey. I feel like this definitely will have some psychological things. This is kind of a family kind of story, but like some Nana ain't right kind of thing, So I think that's gonna be really fun. So S is for supernatural. I'm plugging in Benny Rose for that one. Where'd Benny Rose go? I'm plugging in Benny Rose for this. I think Benny Rose is kind of a supernatural kind of thing. I'm not for sure, but we'll see. I'm plugging it in for that. And next is to read a young adult. Y is for young adult. And I've got that Richie Tanker's The Cusit book. Trick or Treat. That's a point horror. It's a YA. I can't find it right now. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. And then Z is for zombie, of course. I'm double dipping with this one with Planet Dead by Sylvester Barzy. Sounds like a romp of a good time. Okay. So there is one more that is just a weekend. It is, of course, the Weekend Ween, hosted by Gabby Rees and Olivia Rizalate. They do Summer Ween, and they always do some really fun events. And this is just for the weekend of 10/28 to 10/31, so the very last weekend in October. So I've made some plans. So, we'll kind of see, what I get to, that kind of thing. But the first prompt is to let a coin toss, decide your first read. So I would do that at that time. The next prompt is to read a book with a monster on the cover, because the theme for this weekend Ween is called Monster Mash. So I'm going to plug in that Joseph Bruchat book, Night Wings, for this creepy monster that's on the cover there. Next prompt is to listen to a spooky audiobook or read a horror manga or graphic novel. I think you know where I'm going with this. I'm going to be reading that Junji Ito. I will save that for that weekend. The Junji Ito Fragments of Horror. I can't wait. And then, all of their prompts they have is to read a book in the dark or at the nighttime. And I have a couple other books that I had been also wanting to try to fit in. Dark Harvest by Norman Partridge, because this cover screams Halloween. I've not yet read it. And there's also a really cute kind of rom-com type story called Halloween Wars by Denise Wheatley. Also pulls in for Blackoweenathon. It sounds like a lot of fun, kind of a cozy story, and it's a little short story. It's perfect to read for a weekend, to readathon. So yeah, let me just tell you, I am super, super jazzed for October and all of these awesome reads. I'm really excited for everything, and participating in the events and just reading, just getting the spooky on, you know what I'm saying? Just getting spooky, because it is time. It is for sure time. So let me know, are you participating in any of these events, or are you just reading, or you don't read spooky at all? Maybe do you just like fall vibes in your stories? Yeah, so these are my plans. I don't stress anything. I will get to what I get to and have fun reading what I get, reading what I can. But yeah, I'm excited for all these fun events. So again, I'll link everyone below that I mentioned in here, and go check them out. If you want more information about the events, please go check it out. And yeah, so that's it for me. This is a super long video. My apologies, but we're talking about 1,000 books here. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far, thanks so much. Leave me a ghost emoji or something in the comments, and let me know what you're reading. Are you ready for spooky read season? So thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Bye, friends.